Hello, my name is Alan Weichman, and this is my Unit 4 Milestone presentation. So, what is CPI? The Consumer Price Index, also known as CPI, is a measure that examines the weighted average of prices of a basket of consumer goods and services such as transportation, food, and medical care. It is calculated by taking price changes for each item in the predetermined basket of goods and averaging them. Changes in the CPI are used to assess price changes associated with the cost of living, and also the CPI is one of the most frequently used statistics for identifying periods of inflation or deflation, which we'll explore a little more later here. So based off of the instructions, we were using the years 2013 to 2015. These are the items that I chose and their associated average price data for that corresponding year in September. So you can see here, first item I chose was bread. Actually, all of the items are food, and I based off a quantity of one, just keep it simple for everyone. So you can see here bread and the listed average price data for that year in September, with 2014 being the base year. Ground chuck was the second food item, again with its corresponding average price data. Chicken, eggs, milk, apples, bananas, and coffee. So with that information, I was able to calculate the CPI, basically adding each of the values in their corresponding years, so all the 2013 values to each other, the 2014, the 2015. I was able to use those to calculate the value of the market basket, the cost of market basket, and I was therefore able to use this formula here to calculate the CPI. Again, with each quantity assuming one, so just referring to its average price data for that year. So with that being said, here are the calculations. So for 2014, being the base year, I was able to calculate the CPI of 2013 after adding all the values up together. We had 18.815 divided by the value of the 2014 base year, which is 20.075, and then multiplied by 100, just as the formula shows. I got 93.72 for the CPI of 2013. The base year always being 100%, pretty obvious there. And then 2015 being 100.01%. Now, using that data, I was able to get the inflation rate. And how to calculate the inflation is shown here with this formula. Inflation rate equals CPI of whatever year you're using minus CPI of the previous year over CPI of the previous year, once again. Now, that being said, 2014 was used as a base year, so I was assuming we were doing that in order to also account for deflation, I would imagine. So this is how I was calculating the inflation. Because otherwise I would have said 2013 would be 0% using that as, the base or whatever. But if we're saying 2014, assuming that's the base year and we want to compare it to that, you could say going from 2014 to 2013, there's a deflation, obviously shown by the negative, of 6.28%. Otherwise, 2013 would be 0%. And then, of course, we go back into normal things where 2014, using the formula, 100, which was the CPI of 2014, minus the CPI of 2013, which was 93.72, times 100, which equals 6.70 from 2013. And then 2015, we can see here by using the same calculations, we have 0.01 from 2014, or if we even want to say from 2013, you could say it's 6.71% inflation. This is inflation from 2013. So again, 2013, no, I would have said 0, right? Just assuming that was a base year, or we could have got the data for 2012 and use that to calculate 2013. But again, if we're just trying to show deflation as well, you could say that going backwards from 2014 to 2013, there's deflation of 6.28%. Otherwise, 0. Okay, so how is this information useful? Well, using CPIs in our daily lives I mean, it's something that we can all do. We can all create sort of a spreadsheet rather to calculate, um, our usage and our spending, and also just in terms of, how much we've spent extra per year in terms of the items that we're buying. Um, Now, with that being said, in terms of how this price index I made differs from the um, consumer price index, which I'm assuming is referring to the um, actual current consumer price index. Um, well, in 2018, the most recent one posted at least for February was 248.91, which from the previous year, 2017, was 243.603. There's a, roughly a 3% increase there. Um, but I mean, this index that I'm using is only showing um, food, and it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's necessarily weighted, just as in terms of the actual consumer price index posted by the Bureau, because that one is also going to include other items in terms of transportation, things like that. So I mean, mine's it's pretty much a basic rundown of just showing food and quantity being one. So um, but in terms of like the inflation rates, you can see it's there. You can see how if you're comparing it to the current consumer price index of everything, which is going up and is always going up, generally speaking. It's very rare that it deflates. Um, you can see that trend, right? Because when we go back in, you know, when we go back to the information shown here, you can see that it's generally always increasing. Again, if 2013 was zero, obviously you know, it would be showing increasing. Um, but yeah, thank you for your time and have a great day. And here's my works cited. Thank you.